Welcome to Hypocrites and Contradictions podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Estell, and today we will be opening minds and changing perspectives through conversation. I got a wonderful, beautiful guest for me today, Miss Lauren Love. Say hello, Miss Lauren.
Hi.
Now, Miss Lauren has a clothing line called Unbothered. If you could, Miss Lauren, just tell us about your brand and how you sort of got to this point here.
Got it. So, my brand is the Unbothered brand, and I have a shirt, tank tops, hats currently. But how I got started was, 2017, I believe? Sitting at the kitchen table with my mom, and she always jokes with me like, Lauren, you say the darndest things. And I'm like, I do, don't I, I need to make a t-shirt, right? So I'm like, let me find somebody that can make me a t-shirt. But I Googled all these places that are like a minimum of 12 t-shirts. I'm like, oh shoot, who's going to buy my t-shirt, right? So I'm brainstorming, and I'm like, I'm always unbothered anyway, or at least 90% of the time I'm unbothered. So I was, word playing and things of that nature. Bam, got the saying, unbothered, the art of not caring on purpose. And here we are in year 2. We're making it, man. We're making it.
Year 2. What's the biggest difference from year 1 to year 2 for you?
Oh, man. Year 1 was a whole bunch of guessing, hoping and wishing. I never forget, like, when I first got this shirt, I went to this little house party, didn't tell anybody about it. I just had the shirt on, and I was like, okay, if someone mentions the shirt, then I may tell them that I made it, right? I was so shy. Went to the house party with my homegirls, didn't tell anybody anything. Got there 10 minutes in, someone was like, oh, your shirt's so cute. Boom. Like 2 or 3 minutes later, somebody else. Another couple minutes later, somebody else. I was like, oh, I made it. I felt a little confident. Not a lot, but I was like, I made it. And I was like, okay, boom. So I sold, my 12 t-shirts in like 2 weeks. And still guessing, and now we're in year 2, and I'm a little bit more solidified with things. I'm welcoming mentors in my life. First year was just me and my mom, and we were just keeping it afloat, really. Yeah, man.
So you still work too, right?
Yes, so I do.
It's not Unbothered's not full time yet.
No, that's the goal though. That's the goal for sure. Yeah, I'm a corporate recruiter by day, so.
How do you balance?
Man, I gotta make time for me. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get so engulfed with, making other people money. I'm like, man, I have to figure out like how I can make time for myself outside of making money for someone else. So really what I've done is really kind of, creating a schedule, if you will. I do a few things in the morning. I may do some things at lunchtime, and then I do the bulk of my business work after hours. But I definitely get it in at least 4 or 5 hours a day for sure. Okay. I got you. Yeah. So basically, you are an accidental entrepreneur. Accidentals, that probably not. I mean, it's been there. My aunt has a store, a natural food store that's been up and running for years upon years. My mom, she did a fudge shop in our local town for about 3 or 4 years. So it's there. It was embedded. I didn't know, so accidentally not knowing at the time. But yeah, now, full circle. I'm like, oh shoot, I had it in me the whole time. Didn't even know it. So
your mom had a fudge shop?
Yeah, she was doing some fudge. She was a fudge lady of Morganton. So raised in Morganton, born in Charlotte, raised in Morganton. Then I came back to Charlotte for college. So a little bit of both. So I'm from the sticks and the city.
Where'd you graduate from?
UNC Charlotte.
Okay.
49ers. Hey. Whatever.
All right.
We in here.
You graduated with a degree in communications, right?
Correct.
How does that serve you now?
I mean, full circle. I think that it serves a lot of purposes. I mean, my day job, obviously I'm a corporate recruiter, so that works in itself. But for me, on a personal note, I'm very direct on purpose. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. I'm very clear. So I just think that it works for me, what I'm trying to do. I love public speaking. I'm not afraid to speak in front of people. I believe in my brand, so I feel like I'm going to be doing these podcasts thanks for you,
Facts.
You started all of this for me, so I will never forget you. So thank you so much for inviting me.
No doubt.
So yeah, it just works.
Okay. Now, if you could, just tell me a little bit about how, because I know you said your mom has the fudge brand, and your aunt has the natural food store, right?
Sure, yeah.
How did that shape you Because I know it's in you a little bit, but how do you think that affected you?
Yeah, so how it affected me, growing up, I would even say, my mom used to say, like, Lauren, you are unbothered with the little kids outside. She wouldn't say unbothered. I'm sure that wasn't a thing back then, but I always used to be so super nonchalant when I'm around people, you know what I mean? And I just think that I just kind of always grown up being nonchalant. That's just me. So kind of growing up and seeing my aunt flourish in her store, my mom being able to do this fudge shop and be very successful, like it just was in me and I didn't know it. And so now we're here today in year 2.
And your mom is like your biggest supporter right now, right?
Oh man, what? My family, since it was there, they get it, you know what I mean? So they support me across the board. My family it's like my biggest supporters. They are so cute with their little t-shirts and hats. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. But they get it, so I can appreciate, my mom and my dad. Of course, shout out to fathers too. I don't want to leave them out. They just are very big supporters in what I'm doing, so I can just appreciate that aspect for sure. How
beneficial for you is it to have her there, being that she's done what you're doing in a different space?
She can open my eyes up to different things, things that I don't see, or she can tell me like, okay, this may be happening in the next couple of months because she's been there, done that. So she can kind of help me foresee the things that I'm not seeing, and just kind of give me insight because I don't know it all, you know what I mean? And I think that's the main thing, to have those people in there to kind of say, hey, maybe you can do it this way, or or add this to this. You know what I mean? I know it's a different sector, but business is business across the board. Period.
Facts. Okay. So what is? We were talking about this earlier, okay. So we're sort of repeating the same thing we already discussed.
Okay.
And I was discussing how I don't really like glorifying the bright parts of everything, because anybody, like, social media is full of people that are super duper successful, but I don't really care about that. I want to figure out how you got there. Like, tell me about the lumps you took. So I always say that the people we look to, the Steve Jobs, the Puff Daddies, the Jay-Z's, like, these people, I don't think they mastered the art of business. I think they mastered the art of failing.
Sure.
Meaning they failed so many times, they know exactly what not to do.
Sure.
So if you could tell me about, like, sort of how you stumble, and now you're at a point to where you can just keep this thing floating for a little while.
Oh man, I mean, I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know the business side of things, so just trying to figure out my natural flow of how I'm going to carry this business, which was probably the biggest thing for me to kind of overcome, and I'm still working on that. But with that being said, that I have definitely asked for that mentorship. I think at year 2, the platform that I wanted to be on, I have to have business-minded people to kind of help me, clear up those spaces that I really don't know, really make this thing work for sure. So I think just adding business-minded people to my circle, and everybody can't go though, so you got to be careful on who you add to the team. But I think adding those like-minded people are going to help me go where I need to go for sure.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that you sort of set goals as far as balancing your time between work and Unbothered.
Yeah.
How important is your work to Unbothered though?
Oh man, it's a quadrillion times important. I say that to say is because, and I used to not always have this mindset, but where I want to go and what I want to do for me and my family, this job means everything to me because I've set a goal in mind. The goal is to work as hard as I can for a certain period of time, and then when I'm out, you'll never see me again in corporate America, period.
Has it always been like that, or is Unbothered sort of uncovering that party?
Unbothered is definitely uncovered because I know I can do it. I believe in my brand, so I don't have anywhere else to go but up.
Right.
That's it, period. So, yeah, I'm going to do 1,000% in this job, and then when I'm out, you will never see my face again. You will see my face, but not in corporate America. You will see my face behind Unbothered, the Unbothered brand, okay? Now, for sure.
You mentioned earlier that you got to a point to where you had a transition in your life, and Unbothered sort of supported you, and through that, we won't call it a tragedy, we'll call it an awakening.
Sure, we'll take it. We'll take it.
And that awakening sort of allowed you the time to put back into Unbothered, so that when you returned to corporate America, you had a different mindset.
Absolutely.
Explain that to us.
Yeah, so working a job, and some things happened. I quit just on a whim, and I've never done that before, but I was like, all right, it's just me and Unbothered. So I was like, I'm either gonna sink or swim.
Right.
So I put the mindset in. I was like, okay, this is gonna have to sustain me for whatever a period of time. And I really didn't know like when I was gonna pick up another job. I was just like, we just have to go with it. You know what I mean? So it was about 3 months, and it literally supported me and all my bills for 3 months. And then I actually landed upon a job. And then, I kind of got back into the industry. But I say all that to say that it created a mindset for me that I said, okay, you know what I mean? I will take this job that I needed, because obviously, it's supplemental, but everything, works and where it needs to go. But what I said was, I'm going to take this job, set this goal for myself, and then that's it. So I picked up the job, but it taught me something. I'm like, I can do this, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I was like, if this literally supported me for 3 months with nothing else but my t-shirt brand, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. So that's why I set the goal for what I'm going to do. So I'm in corporate America. I enjoy my job. It's not a bad job. I have a lot of flexibility, thank God. But when I'm out, and I appreciate the job. That's all I could say.
Okay.
That's what I could say.
So you say you're a corporate recruiter, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So corporate recruiter, Unbothered brand.
Sure.
How do you take the skills that you possess as a recruiter and apply them to assist you with Unbothered?
Let's see. I think just overall for me and where I want to go, the job has taught me, I get to talk to a lot of people in tune. For me, it kind of gets me outside of my comfort zone with Unbothered, because sometimes, as I was saying at the beginning, I was shy about my product anyway, you know what I mean? So now I know that I can kind of put myself on these platforms, and I was even scared to do this podcast. I was like, I don't know, Eddie, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? Like,
Don't matter,
how
put your
is
ass on.
Right. I was like, what am I going to do? So I think being able to kind of just put myself out there as I do every day in my day job, like, I think that's what's kind of helped me with, making sure that my brand succeeds successfully. So.
So you basically, on your job, you convince people to come work for the company you work for, right?
Yeah, it's a sales job. Yeah.
So that's basically what
there
you're
you
doing.
go. Yeah, so it's the same.
thing.
Yeah, same difference. Yeah, for sure. So I sell for corporate, for my company, and then for myself, I'm like, I got to get it in. So yeah, it helps me balance it all out.
So if you're listening, the theme is stop demonizing your 9 to 5.
Pretty much.
Even though you hate it, figure out a way to help it literally fuel you to the next step.
Pretty much.
So if you're at a job that you hate, figure out what skills you can master at that job, so that you can take those skills and apply them to what you really want to do. That's what I'm hearing from you, right?
That's it.
Like, in your job, be unbothered, be aware enough to learn and apply.
There you go. That's it. So, that's really pretty much it. Like I said, being unbothered is really for me. So the art of not caring on purpose, like I said, it's just being unbothered about all the BS that's around you, and solely focusing on you, on your goal, and just not letting anybody shake your energy. That's so important to me.
Okay.
You can't let anybody shake your energy. You just can't.
What's next for Unbothered?
Man, we have so many things. Definitely a men's line. All my fellas are like, yo, when we gonna get our shine? Well, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm working on kind of getting a response to, the Unbothered, the art of not caring on purpose. So that's gonna come rolling out. I have some special things. I'm not gonna tell you. I thought I was, but I'm not gonna tell you. But got some real good short-term goals that are gonna roll out for the fall. So I'm really excited about it. May do some kids lines. I'm getting a lot of kids and their parents are like, oh, my child's unbothered, I want a t-shirt. So I may do some kids line and things of that nature. So it's just a lot, we're growing. I'm so excited. I get so excited when I see people in my shirt. I'm like, or my hat or my tank top. I'm just so thankful that we're still rolling. We have so much more to give. So I just appreciate everybody, all the support. One thing I will say is, you don't always have to pay for things. You can share, reshare posts or just any of that, tell somebody word of mouth. It just, all of that helps for long term and longevity in businesses. So don't miss out on that. If you don't want to buy, that's fine. Everybody's not going to buy your product. So very key. But sharing, reposting is so key. It's so helpful. So.
And you big on marketing because that's
Oh man, absolutely. So I can appreciate everything. I'm just so appreciative. Really, to be honest. I appreciate you too.
No,
and may I say that this tea is amazing. I don't know what you have in it, but can you please tell us what's up with this tea? It's amazing.
I will not tell you. If you want some tea, come do the podcast.
Oh well, y'all gotta come over because this tea is everything. I'm super serious though. Y'all really gotta come over here and get this tea. It's amazing.
The funny thing is I know you're super serious. It is amazing.
I mean, hey. So yeah, right. I appreciate you.
So if you could we are in the age of serial entrepreneurship, meaning everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
But if you could, how has it changed you, psychologically? Because, I don't think people understand the feeling that you get when you can think something in your head, dream about it for weeks, put it on paper, put it on a shirt, and then see somebody that you don't even know in it.
Man, listen.
If you could just tell them how good that feels.
Oh, man.
How that's changing.
Yeah, it feels so good. What I say about that is it's almost like, before I started this business, it was like, you don't understand how much goes into just a regular t-shirt, jean, whatever you are promoting, right? Candles or whatever it is. So you see things on social media, you're like, oh, that's nice, whatever. But people really put their sweat and tears behind their business, So for me, I say that it's changed my perspective across the board. I am a big component of whether it's reposting, sharing, anything that I can do. If I'm not buying the products, I believe in local businesses, small businesses, all of that. So I just feel like it's a great feeling when someone truly believes in what you believe in. You know what I mean? And then those repeat customers, oh my God, the feeling is okay, it fuels me to keep going. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. If people want to continue to support me and where I'm going, it feels so good to let someone come up to me the other day and was like, you have no idea how I feel when I put on this shirt. I'm like, okay, bet, but what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Because for me, this started off as a little t-shirt. Maybe you can wear it to the gym. People dress it up. It's a feeling. Your mood never changes however you wear it. You can dress it up. You can dress it down. It's still the same mood. So the fact that people are like, yo, I'm feeling very empowered when I'm in your shirt, that to me is oh, wow. I'm really touching souls out here. So go me. Dang. You know what I'm saying? You got to celebrate yourself sometimes. You feel me? You got to.
We appreciate you having it because I'm looking at your page. The way I found you was basically you had a tea mug, the coffee mug.
Yeah,
of course I drink tea.
Yeah.
So we met up and I got the coffee mug.
Yeah.
But you have a very diverse clientele.
Yes, man. That's what I'm working on.
So how did that happen? Did it happen organically or did you?
Yeah, definitely organically. I feel like that's the best way to be. You know what I mean? If you pressing the issue, you gotta just let people. That's another thing. You just gotta let people see your vision and just let it flow. You know what I mean? If you're doing all that extra, it may work in certain instances, but for me, you gotta really be unbothered. If that's where you're trying to go in life, come holler at me. You know what I mean? So it just organically flowed. I can appreciate it. So that's really all I did. I just have to stay active in my social media, stay active and talk to people about my brand. But that's really all I did.
Okay.
That's it.
Good deal. Now, we do advocate for reaching back and pulling each other forward. So there are probably some people that's thinking about doing a t-shirt line or thinking about doing a clothing line. What's the biggest piece of advice that you could give them?
Ask for help, period. We talk a lot, you know what I mean? So do it, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid to do whatever you're saying that you're going to do. That's first and foremost. And then ask for help. Sometimes we try to act like we can do everything and more, and there are people out here that are willing to help you if you put in your work and they see your drive, what you're trying to do. But just ask for help. Sometimes, and I'm a work in progress myself. Sometimes I feel like I can do everything and more, and I'm like, all right, girl, you can ask for help. It's cool, you know what I mean? So don't be afraid to ask for help. Put away the pride and however you're feeling or whatever, and just ask.
So if you're listening and you're struggling or not struggling, or you might possibly struggle, make sure you got a support system around you to where you need to ask for help. You can ask and not feel
guilty or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Be vulnerable with your business.
Yes. And a business will humble you very quickly. So I would say definitely stay humble, but strong and mighty, and just, you know, be consistent. I think that's the main thing. Like, there are going to be some dips. There's going to be some high moments, of course, but just be consistent through the valleys. Like, it's still going to work. If you believe in what you're doing, it's going to work. There's no other way. There's no other way.
Well, that's dope. We appreciate that. If you could, final question, of course, give me the biggest takeaway from this experience for you, because you're still in the beginning stages.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's sort of crazy. Like, 2 years is a long time, but we still in the beginning stages, right? We still planting the seed that's one day gonna bear fruit.
Yes.
What's the biggest takeaway you gained from this whole thing?
The biggest takeaway, that I could actually do it. I mean, that's just really it. So I'm thinking, like, yeah, it really is. Like, you know, you say a lot of things, as I was saying earlier. You say a lot of stuff like, oh, I can do this, or I can do that, or I see, you know, social media in general, like, you see a lot of people doing a lot of things, celebrities, you know, whatever you're looking at on your page. But actually really putting your mind to it and actually doing it, for me, I was like, oh shoot, I'm doing this, and I'm still doing it. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like getting over that fear of what are people thinking. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest takeaway, is that I'm doing it. It's working for me. I'm putting my all in it. It has no choice but to accelerate, elevate, all the above. So
the biggest lesson for the CEO of Unbothered was to basically embody being unbothered.
Pretty much. That's it. And you gotta do it.
You gotta live up to
your own. Cut away the BS. And cut away the BS. You know what I'm saying? Be so focused on yourself, or be so focused on whatever you are focused on at the moment, and then that's it. Like, you cannot worry about what other people are doing. You know, people don't post their failures on social media. Let's be very clear, right?
Correct.
So, you know what I mean? It may look all glitz and glamoury, but people are doing stuff behind it. So shut it off. Cut off all the fuzz and the noise and everything. Focus on yourself and be unbothered. It's the art of not caring on purpose, literally.
And we so appreciate you coming and dropping these jewels on us today. If you could, tell us where we can find you.
Absolutely. So we have a Facebook page, The Unbothered Brand. On Instagram, it's the Unbothered Brand. And then we have a website, www.theunbotheredbrand.com. As always, I appreciate the support. The continued support is amazing. So thank you. And thank you for inviting me.
You already know.
This is amazing.
Yeah, we about to put you on the map.
Hey.
So just remember, this was Hypocrites and Contradictions podcast. You can find me on Instagram, Estell_experience. You can find me on YouTube, the Eddie Estell Experience. The Hypocrites and Contradictions podcast is pretty much on every platform that's out there: iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. We have a Patreon page. We are on Anchor. We are on Pocket Cast. And as of this morning, we are on Podbean. And what is the name of this app here? We are also on Breaker. So you can pretty much find the podcast everywhere, and we change minds and open perspective through conversation. That is the goal here. We are all a community, and we just want to put out stories that actually empower you to accomplish your own goals. So again, Estell_experience on Instagram, the Eddie Estell Experience on YouTube, and Hypocrites and Contradictions on every podcast platform out there. We appreciate you for listening. Come back next week, and maybe you should give some tea.